There's a car wash on almost every busy corner in America. You've probably driven past 5 of them this week without thinking twice. A guy pays $20, his car gets clean in 4 minutes, and he drives off. Looks like a small, boring, forgettable business, the kind you'd never imagine anyone getting rich from. Except some of these locations are quietly pulling in millions of dollars a year, with profit margins that would make a tech startup jealous. So today we're pulling back the curtain on how car washes actually make their money. Because the real business isn't what happens in that 4-minute tunnel, it's everything happening around it. Let's start with the version most people picture when they think car wash. A guy with a bucket, a hose, maybe a few employees vacuuming interiors, wiping down dashboards, charging you $30 or $40 for a full wash and detail. That's the full service model. And honestly, it's a rough business to run at scale. Labor is expensive. You need several employees per car every single shift. Margins in that model often sit in the single digits, sometimes barely above break even once you account for insurance, water bills, and turnover. It's the version of car washing that's slowly dying out across the country, and there's a very specific reason why. The real money in this industry isn't in full service anymore. It's in something called the express tunnel model. You've seen these. A long conveyor belt pulls your car through a tunnel in 3 to 5 minutes, no employees touching your vehicle, everything automated from the first blast of soap to the final rinse and dry. And this shift from full service to express tunnels is the single biggest reason this industry quietly became a favorite of private equity investors and real estate developers over the last decade. Here's why the math works so differently. A well-run express tunnel wash can gross anywhere from $1.5 million to $4 million a year from a single location, and operating margins on that revenue can run anywhere from 35 to over 50%. For comparison, the average small business in America runs on margins under 10%. A car wash, done right, can be running at 4 or 5 times that. So what changed? Automation changed everything. In an express tunnel, labor costs, the single most expensive part of running most businesses, often stay under 20% of revenue. Compare that to a full-service wash, where labor can eat up half of everything coming in the door. Fewer employees, faster throughput, more cars washed per hour, and almost the entire operation runs on machines, sensors, and chemical dosing systems instead of people standing around with towels. Some of these tunnels can push a car through, start to finish, in under 4 minutes, which means on a busy Saturday, a single lane can process hundreds of vehicles without ever needing to add another employee to keep up. But automation alone doesn't explain the real secret. The real secret is something you've probably signed up for without fully realizing what it does to the business behind it: the monthly membership. Think about the last time you used one of these washes. There's a good chance you weren't paying per visit. You were paying a flat monthly fee, something like $20 to $40 a month for unlimited washes. On the surface, that feels like a deal for you. Unlimited washes for one flat price. But here's what's actually happening on the business side, and it's brilliant. The marginal cost to wash one additional car, the actual chemicals, water, and electricity, is somewhere around $1.50. Not $20, $1.50. So once a member has paid their monthly fee, almost every single wash after that first one is nearly pure profit for the business. Whether that member comes in once a month or 12 times a month barely changes the cost side of the equation, but it completely changes how much revenue that customer is generating. And here's the number that really shows how powerful this model is. At some of the best-run locations, membership revenue alone accounts for 55 to 65% of total income, using a customer base of just 3,000 to 4,000 members per site. Profit margins on that specific membership revenue can run as high as 90%. 90% margin on a car wash. That's a number you'd expect from software, not soap and water. This is exactly why every car wash you drive past now is aggressively pushing you toward a membership instead of a single wash. The guy waving you toward the sign-up kiosk isn't just being friendly. It's not because they're being generous. It's because a member is worth dramatically more than a one-time customer, and the business barely has to spend anything extra to deliver that value. Some operators have gotten so good at this that memberships now come with tiered pricing: a basic wash, a premium wax package, a top-tier unlimited everything plan, each one nudging customers toward paying a little more every month for a service that costs the business almost nothing extra to provide. If this kind of business breakdown is something you're into, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and let us know in the comments which industry or business you want us to dig into next. We genuinely read through the suggestions. Now, here's the part most people never think about. The real estate underneath these car washes might be worth more than the washing itself. Car wash operators aren't randomly picking locations. They're specifically hunting for high-traffic corner lots, the same kind of prime real estate that a Starbucks or a fast food chain would fight tooth and nail over. Why? Because a car wash needs visibility and easy in and out access. And once that location is secured, the land itself tends to appreciate independently of how well the wash is actually performing month to month. Some investors aren't even primarily interested in the car wash business itself. They're interested in owning a commercial corner lot that happens to generate cash flow while it appreciates in value. If the wash underperforms, they can always redevelop the land into something else entirely. That's part of why you're seeing so much private equity and institutional money pouring into this industry over the last several years. It's not just a service business anymore. It's a real estate play wrapped around a subscription business, generating predictable monthly cash flow the same way a gym membership or a streaming service does. Investors love that kind of predictability because it turns a small local business into something that behaves a lot more like a financial asset. Put all three pieces together, and the picture becomes pretty clear. Automation slash labor costs, and let a handful of employees run a facility that used to require a dozen. The monthly membership model turned occasional customers into predictable monthly revenue, with almost every visit beyond the first one costing the business next to nothing. And the real estate underneath it all quietly appreciates in value regardless of how many cars pull through on any given day. Even on a slow, rainy week when wash volume drops, the membership revenue keeps flowing in exactly the same, which is precisely the kind of stability that makes lenders and investors comfortable putting serious money into these deals. None of that shows up when you're sitting in your car watching foam and water hit your windshield for 4 minutes. From the driver's seat, it just looks like a wash. From the business side, it's automation, recurring revenue, and real estate economics all working together at the same time. And that's really the pattern behind a lot of businesses people underestimate. The most overlooked, boring-looking businesses on your street are often engineered far more intelligently than they get credit for. Nobody brags about owning a car wash at a dinner party the way they'd brag about owning a piece of a tech company. But dollar for dollar, a well-run express wash with a strong membership base can outperform businesses that sound a lot more impressive on paper, quietly, consistently, month after month, without anyone outside the industry paying much attention at all. So the next time you drive past one of these places and see a line of cars waiting to get pulled through that tunnel, you're not just looking at a car wash. You're looking at a subscription business, a real estate investment, and an automated operation, all disguised as 4 minutes of soap and water, quietly generating better margins than most of the flashier businesses people talk about. If this changed the way you look at car washes, make sure to subscribe, hit like, and drop a comment telling us which business or industry you want us to break down next. Your suggestions genuinely shape what we cover.